Good evening everyone, Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another important live video update tonight. This is going to be our last for a week or so. We've got a couple of interesting projects that we're working on in the background, a few other things going on. I can't go into too much detail tonight, but we will elaborate a little more on Tuesday night's radio show. So please do make sure you tune in for that. I also feel like I'm a little bit just going around and around in circles at the moment. I keep saying the same things again and again. I don't want to waste your valuable time, repeating the same things. So unless there's sort of something really new and exciting to update people with, there's not much point sort of continuing to do these every couple of days if we don't need to. Look, I do know a lot of people are just new to these videos, so they're only just finding out about us. I also know a lot of people really do appreciate some of the repetition, especially when we go through specific sections of legislation, when we talk about particular court cases, things like that. So I just want to assure you, all of our videos have now been completely uploaded to our YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube, just type in Know Your Rights Group channel, and you'll find all of the list of videos. There's the titles there, there's the description of what we covered, the dates are there. You'll find them all. You'll also find them on our BitChute channel. So again, just bit, B-I-T, shoot, C-H-U-T-E. bitchute.com. Again, just do a search for Know Your Rights Group channel and you'll find all of the videos listed there. So you can always go back and review these videos in your own time, at your own pace, if you might have missed anything, if you want to recap on something that we've covered or anything like that. All right, so speaking of recaps, that's what I really want to just do quickly tonight, is just recap on some of the most important points and really answering the questions that I keep getting day in, day out, all the time. And then, as I said, we'll move on to something new as and when something else develops and happens. But right now, I keep getting the same emails. Oh, I just got a fine for not wearing a mask. I got arrested at a protest. I got, fined for being more than, 5Ks from my home. What do I do? Okay, the answer is very simple. Grab this Aussie Speeding Fines book. Everything you need to know is in there. It explains why all fines are unjust and unlawful. There's that 3-step process, which I've covered a million times before. And I just want to show you again, it's already written there very clearly. It's laid out with all of your details so you can see everything. You've just got to cut and paste your details in and then send those off. Now, what I suggest to people is use the general 3-step process from chapter 3 of that book and add in these key points, okay? So scribble these down. The first question to add in is, where is the biosecurity order that specifically references COVID-19 as a quarantinable disease, considering that COVID-19 is still yet to be perfectly isolated by any laboratory anywhere in the world? That's the first question to ask. The next question is, where is the public health order that specifically names you, John Smith, Jane Smith? Okay, remember, the government can't just make blanket orders. I covered this on just the last video I did, where Brett Sutton admitted, under oath during his testimony at the inquest into the whole Dan Andrews, quarantine debacle, and he said they can't make these blanket orders. Okay, and then the third question to ask is, where is the instrument of delegation that the police officers who arrested you or issued you with the fine or whatever are relying on to act as authorised officers under the Public Health and Wellbeing Act? Yes, they absolutely can delegate those powers to particular people, including police officers, but they can only be delegated by instrument. So where's that instrument of delegation? These are the 3 key points to add on to those Aussie Speeding Fines templates if you've got any of these COVID related fines whatsoever. Okay, now the other thing that I want to cover is the 3 important court cases that everyone should be aware of. Again, we've covered these before, but I'm just going to break it down, make it really simple. So, Robinson versus New South Wales Police. Clearly the court said they cannot arrest you unless they intend to charge you. Okay, so failing to wear a mask, being 5 kilometres from home, these are all minor infringements. Okay, they are not chargeable and arrestable offences. All right, now the other thing that they love to do is, we're going to arrest you in order to identify you. Okay, but show me the legislation that authorizes you to arrest someone purely for the purposes of identifying them. Okay, there is no such legislation. Okay, and if there was, okay, what would be the charge? Remember, if they're going to arrest you, they have to intend to charge you. So once they've identified you, what's the charge? Okay, you've got to start getting your head around this stuff. Now, again, I do want to make it clear and I do want to remind people, okay, if the police pull you over and you choose to stop and talk to them, the police absolutely, okay, under the various state road transport acts and Transport Management Act and Road Safety Act, all those things, they can indeed ask you for your name and address and you are required to give it to them. Okay, but that's all you're required to do. Okay, they can ask you to produce your license. Again, produce, I think I had mine on me today. Produce means that. That's produced. You've just produced it. Nowhere in the legislation does it say you have to hand it over to them. No, they're not going to give you their ID if you ask them to produce it, so you don't need to do that either. Now again, remember, if you've got a full license, you're not required to have it on you. They can ask you to present it at a police station within 24 hours. So again, by all means, just do that. Okay, but you don't have to answer any other questions. You don't have to tell them your date of birth. You don't have to tell them where you're going. Okay, don't get tricked and deceived into, oh, it's just simple questions. We're just trying to ascertain. No, you don't have to do any of that. Okay, now that of course brings us to DPP versus Hamilton. You're not required to stop and speak to police unless you're under arrest. And of course, the moment you're under arrest, you have the right to silence. You don't have to say anything. Again, make sure you go and look up that case. And of course, one of the most powerful ones is Regina v. Banner. Okay, and the courts clearly dictated that the police have no authority whatsoever to detain you purely for the purposes of facilitating an investigation. So where have you been? What are you doing? Where do you live? Who are you living with? Why are you out and about? These are all for the purposes of facilitating an investigation. They're all trying to investigate where you're going, what you're doing. Okay? They have no right to do that. So ask them, sorry, officer, are you detaining me for the purposes of facilitating an investigation contrary to the Supreme Court ruling in the matter of Regina v. Banner? Now, they're probably going to look at, what was that again? So you repeat it again. We just want to know, so you are intending on operating contrary to that Supreme Court ruling, and you are intending on detaining me for the purpose of facilitating investigation. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm free to go then. Okay, this is where you've got to throw it back on them and get them caught off guard. They're not prepared for this stuff. Okay, so be aware of that. All right? And again, if they say, well, yes, we are detaining you and you need to answer these questions. Okay. Oh, great. So when you make that choice, when you make that decision to go and act contrary to that Supreme Court ruling, are you operating under your code of conduct? Okay, this is how you put it all back on them. Okay, and this is what people really need to get their head around. Now, again, I want to remind people that we have got an entire chapter in our book, okay, on all the different court cases. Okay, it's the bonus chapter. There's all sorts of court cases, traffic-related cases. There's unlawful arrest cases. There's trespass cases. There's Chapter 3 courts and why they absolutely are valid. Cases that talk about the Bill of Rights. Everyone goes, oh, we've got no rights in Australia. Yes, we absolutely do. The Bill of Rights and the Imperial Acts are all still most assuredly valid. Okay, public transport cases. All right, banking cases. All right, all of these are covered in this bonus chapter on court cases. If you haven't yet got this book, okay, please make sure you grab a copy. And don't forget as well, very important, we're still getting a bunch of questions about these mandatory vaccination laws. We have an entire chapter, okay, which includes our My Will letters, and those, of course, can be adapted to a whole range of different scenarios. And, of course, it can and will be used against any new mandatory vaccination requirements or whatever that they might try and bring in down the track. Okay, so please make sure you have a look at those if you haven't already got those books. All right, now the other thing that I want to just cover and clear up is, again, the confusion with our social media. So, again, our main Facebook group, which had 20,000 plus members in it, was taken down last week by Facebook. We had a backup group, which was a secret group. It was a hidden group, whatever. It couldn't be found publicly. We've now opened that up. But again, we want to reiterate that it is only for the newbies. only for people who are just fresh to learning about their rights. We're going to only keep and allow really, really basic posts. Anything controversial, we're asking everyone to put onto our MeWe page. We've had heaps and heaps of people transfer over to that in the last week, which is fantastic. Keep going. So just go to MeWe, MEWE.com, and again, just do a search for Know Your Rights group, and you'll find us on MeWe. Now, on the very top post on that MeWe page, there's also a link to our BitChute channel, in case you can't find it. There's also a link to our Telegram page. Now, people said, oh, well, you shouldn't be using MeWe, it's owned by the Chinese, blah, 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 all these things. Okay, great. But we've got to do something. No, we shouldn't be on Facebook. No, we shouldn't be on YouTube. But you know what? That's where most of the Muppets are. That's where most of the people who are still asleep are. Okay? So we still need to cater to them so that we can get through to them and educate them, get them to wake up and move over to these other platforms. We've only got so many people. We've only got a handful of admin who are trying to run everything. They're trying to run Facebook. They're trying to run Messenger. They're trying to run MeWe. They're trying to run Telegram. They can only do so much. Everyone keeps sending these messages. Oh, you should be on this platform, that platform. We can't be on 100 platforms. We don't have the people to manage it. Okay? So, it's Facebook group, Facebook page, MeWe, and Telegram. They're the platforms. But again, MeWe is where you can interact with us, where you can put posts, where you can ask questions, all those sorts of things. Okay? Now, of course, remember as well, for all Know Your Rights members, you do get access to our members-only forum. That is a closed forum that's only available to paid-up members, so you don't get all the trolls, you don't get all the idiots, and you get that as part of your membership, whether you get the hard copy book or the digital book, you get access to that online forum. So that's another option for people as well. And as I said, we've got the YouTube and the BitChute channels. So hopefully that covers all of our social media. Now, the other thing that I want to just finally remind you about, of course, is that Bank Secrets Revealed book. The guys there have had a constant flow of success stories from people who've really been struggling, and they've got hold of this book and they're discharging, you know, tens, 20, 30 thousands of dollars worth of personal loans, credit cards, things like that. Please go to their testimonials page. Go to their website. There's a link, I don't know, up, down, wherever it is in the description to this video. Go to the testimonials page and you'll see them all there. Some really, really great stories. So again, remember, as long as it's unsecured, okay, if it's to do with a house or car, you can't do much right now. Okay, but if it's unsecured, credit card, personal loan, again, just use the very simple 4-step process. Okay, stop struggling, especially, you know, so many people now are really having problems meeting their, you know, their debt repayments. Stop struggling, send these letters off. If you don't get them completely discharged, you'll get them significantly reduced. Again, just have a look at some of those success stories. All right, so I think that covers pretty much everything. Of course, we do have all 3 books available if you want to get all 3 together. We do have them in our various combo packs. A lot of people have been asking about those over the last couple of months. They're proving really, really popular. Depending which one you get, there's all sorts of different savings with postage and with the extra CDs and things like that. So have a look on our page if you really want to get into that. So I'm going to leave it there. We will be on air for our final radio show for a little while as well on Tuesday night. As I said, we'll explain a little bit more about what's going on those shows. But for right now, what I really want to urge people to do is keep the pressure on. Okay, there's been protests going on in Melbourne, not only each weekend, but on both days of the weekends. So the Saturday and the Sunday, which is fantastic. Okay, Daniel Andrews is getting bombarded by big business, by letters from people, by his own parliamentarians. There's been a vote of no confidence put into Parliament. People are saying, listen, we don't have any faith in you anymore. So he is getting hammered from each and every angle, which is fantastic. You know, we are in a really exciting position that we really could get rid of this idiot, okay, before the end of this month. Now everyone goes, oh, if you get rid of him, who are you going to replace him with? Anyone! Okay, everyone goes, well, who's going to do a better job? I don't know, just look around. Any of the other premiers around the state, they've all done much better jobs than him. Okay, Ronald McDonald right now would do a better job than Dan Andrews. Okay, we need to get him out. We need to lift some of these restrictions, and we need to get back to some semblance of an actual life, especially here in Melbourne and Victoria. So please, keep the pressure on. Keep sending those emails. Keep asking those questions. Keep sending in those freedom of information requests. Okay, keep on to not only Dan Andrews, but also keep the pressure on your actual local and state MPs, because they're the ones who are getting all these emails, and then they're going to him and saying, listen, this is what my constituents are saying, we need to act. Okay, so keep that pressure on, And as I said, hopefully I'll be back on air in the not too distant future. Otherwise, as I said, we'll speak to you all on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock on our radio show. Until then, take care.